Greetings, I'm Siddiq, and as you can see my topic, it is on Ulysses, a poem written by Alfred Tennyson. Not to sound generic, but this poem is a deep one and a multi-layered one and a complex one at best. So what I have with me is the script for the poem and not anything else. I don't have any personal notes on me, it's just the poem since it's longer. I was advised not to talk about this, but to provide context I did anyway. Okay, let's begin. So the first stanzas, I believe, focuses on monotony and ignorance. Why that is, let me read it and explain it to you. It little profits and that an idle king by the still hearth among these barren crags, matched with an aged wife, I meet and dole, unequal loss unto savage race, that hoard and sleep and feed and know not. So he feels that being a king is not enough. See, we as men and women even, we crave greater things in our life, but what can be more possibly greater than being a king? That does not sit well with Ulysses or Odysseus in Greek language. So he does not feel that being a king is enough. And he feels that he is giving out unequal laws, meaning he is not using his prudence to give out fair laws, which means he is not the patient man that he thought once was, but rather he is grown jaded as he gets older. And the contrast he feels, matched with an aged wife. So there is some level of grandeur here when he addresses himself. He feels that he is about time, let's say, because age does not apply to him. You will feel the same way as I go on. And he also feels that his subjects are beneath him. Why? Because they don't recognize him. See, even in today's standards, in today's time, men feel unrecognized. We don't feel value for what we provide in the society. Even women. But a society where motherhood is glorified, where women are being praised for giving birth and such things and the sacrifices they provide, I feel and many men feel that their sacrifices are gone unnoticed and they don't feel they are getting the recognition they deserve. Even fathers. The thing is, he feels that these savage people, he says savage because all they do is hoard food, they store so much food and eat it at once, gluttony again. This poem also delves into the 7 sins of Christianity, one of them being gluttony, storing everything beyond limit, beyond what is needed. So they eat, sleep, and they don't recognize their king. He feels unrecognized because he is old now and his tales of glory has long forgotten. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that love me and alone and on shore, when through scudding drifts the rainy heights which the decks see. So he says that he cannot rest from travel. You see the contradiction here. What he says is, usually we feel restless from travel, but he feels that he cannot rest from travel. He wants to travel, he wants to go abroad, he wants to go through the seas, explore new lands, conquer new lands maybe, but he feels he is stagnant, and stagnant water is of no use. And that's why he says, among the rough seas, that the great Hyads and whatever the seas he has traveled, he feels that he has become a name. He does not say, I have made a name, but rather, I am a name, I have become a name. Meaning that he feels that Ulysses or Odysseus, whatever you prefer, Odysseus has become a name, like a brand of wit, of courage, and of honor. And he feels that way. From the slides you can see, he has journeyed through extremes and he glorifies suffering. Do you know why he glorifies suffering, or why do I think that he is glorifying suffering? It is because they say suffering builds character, and also he feels that his people has everything easy. That is why they don't recognize the suffering their king has gone through, and that is why he feels unrecognized. It is all about a man who feels unrecognized. For always roaming with a hungry heart. See, he's not, let's say, satiated with his travel and his experience. He feels that he has to conquer more lands, he wants to spread his name. In those days, preservation of feats or lore, even of history, was not as easy as it is today. They had stone hinges and they had to sculpt their way with rocks and those things. So it is, even with recorded books, many have lost, I think. Not I think, many have lost. So to be preserved in history is the ultimate goal for any king and anyone that seeks to be spoken long after they are gone. Unquenchable. The unquenchable means the not being able to quench as in not satiating. So he feels that whatever he has accomplished is not enough. So he says, for always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments, myself not least but honored of them all. Meaning, myself not least and honored of them all. He has gone to many cultures and many societies, he has seen many people and many cultures, he has dipped his toes in everywhere, he has been vast array of cultures. But he was not just an observer or a citizen, he was an honorable one at that. Meaning they were very much seeking to make his acquaintance rather than welcome him. They did not just welcome him, but they honored him. So a man of this caliber, when he is not recognized with his own people, he will feel inadequate. And that inadequacy, matched with an unexciting life, leads to him abandoning his own kingdom and his own kingship. Far on the ringing plains of windy Troy, and not to mention, if you remember the Battle of Troy where the fight for Helena took place, he was the one that suggested to present them the Trojan horse, meaning he outwitted a kingdom where even the castle walls were unpenetrable. So he is not only known for his brute force but rather also for his wit. So a man of this caliber again feels inadequate because he is not recognized. I am a part of all that I have met, yet all experiences is an arch where through gleams that untraveled world whose margin fades forever and forever when I move, how dull it is to pause to make an end. So see, when someone is in a perpetual state of succeeding and perpetual state of conquering, when they stop suddenly, they feel like they are missing out. The fear of missing out is so real on this one. Not only that, he says that I am a part of all that I have met. So he has, as I have mentioned here, he has been part of many cultures. Not only that, he has amassed a huge, a huge sea of knowledge, and within that comes some level of pride. Many intelligent men in history are boastful and even prideful. Even if you disagree, that's the truth. But more than that, he feels forgotten. And when someone with a sense of grandeur feels like they are forgotten from history, they will feel to reclaim what they once lost or what they think they have lost. So he wants the people to speak of him again, to speak of his adventure, to speak of his legacy, so to say, other than his son Telemachus. But here's the thing. So he feels that he has wandered alongside brave men and not women. Those days women did not go to war. He feels that he is acquainted with many of kings and many brave men, and he feels that he is a part of them. They say we carry a part of all of those we love and of all of those we admire, even our enemies. So he feels that when I am like this and I feel unrecognized, again, I know it's being repetitive, but still, when someone feels that way, or someone with a sense of grandeur and some level of narcissism, they will go to any lengths to prove them. At least it's not to prove to the world, but rather to prove to themselves. And he says, yet all experiences is an arch where through gleams untraveled world. It means even though experiences are an archway, a doorway, a portal to new world, new experiences, I have to go and try to see what's on the other side of the horizon. Those days travel was limited. We don't have, they did not have the technology we have today, nor did they have the modern objects of voyage and travel. But even then, they felt they had this curiosity to experience what's on the other side of the sea. Since the modem of travel was so restricted, even what we feel like is a short distance may feel like it's a whole new country to them, and that is why he feels he has to explore new worlds. Remember, America was, when it was discovered, it was called the New World. So, even though it was a continent, anyway. How dull it is to pass, to make an end, to rust unburnished, not to shine in use. So usually the term burnished is used in the context of swords, and he thinks that he is an instrument of war. He is a sword, he feels. Even if he is polished himself, if he is burnished himself, burnished means to polish, even if he feels that he has polished himself, what's the use if it's not put to use? Yes, if it's not put to use. He'd rather live a short life but an exciting one, than to have a long one but a boring one and uninteresting one. So he feels it is how sad it would be to let go of my life so boringly. As though to breathe were life piled on life were all too little. And I wanted to point out the juxtaposition. Juxtaposition means to show contrast between two opposing elements. Here, rust and shine. So he'd rather shine and die fast than to live a safe life and rust all the while he's doing it. Here he mocks the idea of simply existing as living. So as to breathe were life, he claims that breathing does not mean living. It can also mean survival, and survival is not all that good for a man who has a sense of grandeur. So he feels that I should be out there doing something, and that's the point of Ulysses. You will see that the last line of the poem. Little remains, but every heart is saved from that eternal silence, something more. He feels that even if multiple lives is given to him, like a cat, he feels that it's not enough to experience everything the world has to offer. And not only that, Ulysses feels that he's a man of God. There's a contradiction in this ideology, I'll get back to it later, but the thing is, he feels that even if multiple lives are given to him, it's not of use to experience everything the world has to offer, because the one he has already been bestowed upon is almost gone, and he has a few more years at best, and he feels that he has to do something with it. Little remains, but every hour is saved from that eternal silence, something more, a bringer of new things, and while it were for some 3 sons to store and hoard myself. So again he uses the word hoard. He is again comparing himself to the savage people he spoke of. Savage people, as mentioned, are his subjects. So he does not want to live a life like them, or a life of comfort. As I mentioned before, he already glorifies suffering. He feels that suffering builds character, and also he wants to separate himself from the people that are living an easy life. And this grey spirit yearning in desire, even though he is a man of God, he feels that he is righteous in his doing. What he is becoming is so righteous, and he wants not to waste his life, but I disagree. To abandon the people that love him, to abandon the people that are dependent on him, to abandon his wife is not an act of mercy, and not being merciful is not a trait of a godly man. And the thing is, he feels that his grey spirit is yearning in desire. And he spoke of gluttony and he spoke of sloth, and sloth meaning laziness. It is also one of the 7 sins, and this poem covers some level of it. So he spoke against gluttony and he spoke against sloth, but desire, giving into desire, is not a godly trait. It's not a divine trait, and he's a grey spirited. You can take it into 2 contexts: grey as in an old man, a weary man's spirit, and grey as in a morally grey person. You cannot define morals with black and white. Moral is not black and white. Something that is moral cannot be restricted into 2 extremes. Moral is shades of grey, maybe even 50. I made an educated joke there. Anyway, yearning and desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star. Like a sinking star, it could mean voyages in the sea and to follow along the horizon. But what I interpret it as a supernova. A sun or a star before dying glows the brightest, and it goes out just like that with a bang. And he wants to go out like a supernova, like a star, like a sinking star. He wants to expand his horizons and die. He does not want to die in his sleep or die on a deathbed. And then he speaks of his legacy. So this is my son, mine own Telemachus, to whom I leave the scepter and the isle, well loved of me, discerning to fulfill this labor, by slow prudence to make mild the rugged people, and through soft degrees subdue them to the useful and the good. Most blameless is he, centered in the sphere of common duties, decent not to fail, in offices of tenderness and pay. Meet adoration to my household gods when I'm gone, he works his work, I mine. So introduces Telemachus, and he feels that his son is a worthy successor, not because that he is biased for his son and he is favoring him, but rather he has this slow prudence, meaning he is a patient and a wise man. He fills up the area where Odysseus or Ulysses failed. He failed to give out slow prudence, and his son succeeds there. And so he feels that he is a godly man to whom I can give up my scepter as in the staff beheld by kings, and also his crown. And he can also submit his people to Telemachus and lead, where he can subdue them. See, you cannot fight fire with fire. And so he feels Telemachus is the answer. Telemachus is the water to the fire that is not a little fire or even fire as in energetic people, but rather savage people. So he feels that Telemachus can civilize his own people, a thing where he failed. So he feels that he can succeed his father and take over as king, and where he'll be doing his work and Ulysses his own, meaning searching for knowledge and conquering new lands, perhaps. There lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail, there bloom the dark broad seas, my mariner souls that have toiled and wrought and thought with me, that ever with a frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine, and opposed free hearts, free foreheads, you and I are old. Old age hath yet his honor and his toil, death closes all, but something here the end. Some work of noble note may yet be done, not unbecoming men that strove with gods. The light begin to twinkle from the rocks, the long day wanes, the slow moon climbs, the deep moans around with many voices. Come my friends, it's not too late to seek a newer world. So here he speaks of camaraderie and companionship. Like-minded men can conquer a land. It is how people used to go to war those days. They had to form a brotherhood, and brotherhood is formed on similar or same ideals and ideologies. So these men, even though they are old, they are loyal to him and their ideas, and they are ready to set sail and experience travel and explore new lands. So they are ready to set sail, and he says that these souls, these great souls, have toiled with me. They have suffered with me, and I would like to suffer with them or cherish battle with them and go out to the Happy Isles with them. Happy Isles is essentially the place where martyrs go after their death, meaning heaven for warriors, or Valhalla in Norse mythology. So he says that he is very happy with the companionship he has, and he would rather die with them than to die a boring death with his wife and family. To sail beyond the sunset and the baths of all the western stars until I die. It may be that the gulls will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the Happy Isles and see the great Achilles, whom we knew. Though much is taken, much abides, and though we are not now the strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are one equal temper of heroic hearts made weak by time and fate, but strong in will. So again he references the Battle of Troy with Achilles. If you watch the movie Troy, you will find that Achilles, played by Brad Pitt, fought in the Battle of Troy as a Muslim. Troy was untouchable except for his heel, and he feels that he will join the Happy Isle with the great warrior whom he shared a battle with. So they are they are hoping to die in battle and go out with a bang again. And he feels that even though they are weakened by age and time caught up with them, but still their hearts of one equal temper, meaning they are all with the same ideology, and that they are still with the courageous hearts that they moved heaven and earth once a long lifetime ago. And he says, but strong in will to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. So these lines, to strive, to seek, and to find, and to not yield. To strive meaning, you know what to strive, to put in effort, to work hard, to find, to seek as in to search and to find answers, and not to yield, not to give up. So he does not want to give up to time, he does not want to give up to old age, he doesn't want to even give up to a boring life. He'd rather have an exciting life than a grandiose life. But here's the thing, even though it is written in an ancient time about, even if it's not written in ancient time, it is written about an ancient time, still it has multiple flaws within its ideology. Even in today's standards, we cannot abandon our family for personal glory or excitement. It is immoral. Though he says that they are men of God, but they are all abandoning their families and their responsibilities in search of personal glory, which in of itself is greedy and even selfish. So, what I'm trying to say is, this thing can still be applied to our own time, where we still follow or lead lives of monotony, where we have 9 to 5 jobs, where we have to sit in confined spaces in front of a screen, where we are supposedly, please, where we are, bored out of our mind. People say that we have to think of this city life as a concrete jungle, and that we have to navigate through it. Some people take the term concrete jungle too literally and party like wild animals, if you get my drift. So ultimately, it's a poem about a man struggling with his own morality and mortality. So he is struggling with time and also his desires and his responsibilities. He feels that outsourcing his responsibilities to his son is justifying him to get himself get going on a personal glory mission. So I feel that it is inapplicable to us per se, but still we have to we have to compare this with our type trait. And that concludes my presentation. I know I have messed up in the end, but anyway, thank you for listening.